Hey guys, long time no see. Happy New Year. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. I am Katie the Bookworm, and in today's episode, I am very honored to have this young guest with me. I met her at Y'all Fest back in November of last year. It was kind of funny because her and two other upcoming authors were legit right behind me because we were in line waiting for Tiffany D. Jackson autograph. And I noticed that you guys were talking about being an author. And one of them was just like, you have to stop being scared, just show them the work. So she gave me your book. She gave me your bookmark, and I fell in love with the cover. Cover is absolutely gorgeous. And I was just like, wait a minute, I need to stop being scared too. So I got in my book bag, like, hey guys, like I'm an author too. Like I'm an author, I do this, that. And we follow each other on Twitter. I got in contact with you to ask you to do an interview, get an art copy. I finished the arc within like a week and a half. And it was so good. If you guys follow me on Twitter, then you know how I am about arcs. I really love them. Personally, they have a lot of quotes in it. But I'm here to announce that I have up and coming, and I'm claiming this New York Times bestseller author, Laila Sabreen, with me. So how are you today?
I am great. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. So my first two questions is, how did you start writing and why did you start writing?
Yeah, definitely. So I like to tell this story that I used to go to my local library with my mom every single weekend, and I fell in love with the Angelina Ballerina series. And so after I read all of the books in the series that my library had, I just kind of started writing my own. And at first I was doing it just to practice my cursive, and then I noticed that I was like kind of changing the characters around, putting them in different stories and whatnot. So I was kind of writing Angelina Ballerina fan fiction when I was like 5.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of how I started like writing. And then once I got a little bit older, started working on like my own like original works. I started doing it just because I thought it was like fun, honestly. And then with you two, we assumed it kind of had more of a purpose like going into it. But that's kind of how I got into writing, really, because I was a reader first.
Okay. I think that's everybody because I'm the same way with me. I used to read a lot of books and then I started. So how long did it take you to write, you truly assumed?
Yeah, so I started writing it my junior year of high school, about like December 29, yeah, 2018, I believe. And then it took me until maybe February of that next year to actually get the first draft done. So I was just writing in between like classes and everything. But yeah, I remember like trying to like do nano that year, but I had the SAT coming up, so I like didn't start writing until December once I was done taking the
Yeah.
test. But yeah, it took me like 3-ish months to get the first draft done.
Wow. I know when I read Ace of Spades, and I'm not even going to pronounce her last name because I'm not uh she said that I think she said she did that book in like 28 days, the first draft. And I was just like, geez, it takes me like months just to do one draft. And you guys are like about to be like published and you guys do like 3 months. So was it just something passionate that made you want to write this book? Or you just felt as if it just needed to be like seen?
Yeah, honestly, when I was doing the first draft, I was really doing it just for me. So it was just fun. Like I didn't have any intentions of when I was writing the first draft to really like get it published. That came later more into like revising and edits and whatnot.
Mhm.
So honestly, I was just having a ball. It was just something to do outside of school that I thought was fun. So I think maybe that contributed to me like writing so fast with it.
Okay, cool. So guys, this is the cover. And isn't it gorgeous? Like, oh my gosh, like this gonna just do it all.
I just got finished copies, so whoop,
It's so pretty.
there we go.
So it tells the story of three girls. It is a multiple point of view story, which I personally love. I know a lot of people really don't like three POVs. Me personally, I love them because I get to see exactly how they are in each character. So it tells the story of Riche, who is here, Zakat, who is here, and Farah, who is right here. A terrorist attack happens in DC where Shabria lives, aka Bree, and her mother is at the place where it happens, and she's very nervous. She's a ballerina. She wants to go to school, not school, but she wants to go to school, but yeah, at the same time, during her summer, she is strictly on just being a ballerina, practicing her craft, making she had like a whole Excel sheet of training camps that she wanted to go to. She has a sister, Nuri, who is Nuri, who I think she's like legit one of my favorite side characters because she was just like, listen, you're doing this and I'm not taking no for an answer. If you like him, just go for it and call it a day, even though I already knew. And then she also has her dad that just got a new job. And so it starts off with her and how she's scared, she's terrified because this is like the first time that everything's happened like that. And I love this quote. I'm gonna get into other characters, but this quote that her mom says, and like I told you on Twitter, I'm going to get this hat on me because I love this quote. It doesn't matter what's been written in your story so far. It shows you. I'm sorry. It's how you fill the remainder of the pages that counts. What made you come up with that quote? Because that quote is just, oh my God. When I read it, I was just like, this is deep.
Thank you. I'm always so interested to see like what lines jump out to readers. So that line has been in there pretty much since the beginning. So I don't even remember what I was thinking when I wrote. I probably was like, that's good. Just kept moving. But it's just so great to hear that it resonated with you, honestly.
It did, because going through my own personal thinking, like I said, I'm also an author, and trying to like not be in comparison of everybody else. I'm just like really focusing on trying to focus on my craft. So when I read that, I was just like, okay, I get it. You're yelling at me, but I got it. I got you. So the next one, and she decides, so basically after her mom is okay, she decides to write in her journal, but yet she wants to do something more digital. So her sister encouraged her to write on a journal blog, and not knowing that her entries have been seen all over the world because she thought that she locked it, come to find out she didn't. Just for a lot of people who are in, because if you guys didn't know, they're Muslim. Muslim girls all around was just like, I resonate with you. I understand where you're coming from. So her sister encouraged her to make a blog called You Truly Assume. And this is where the cat comes in. I loved her character too. She is from Georgia. She is from Maryland, and she's from California. And the cat is very, her parents are very strict with her, especially after everything that happened. She lives in a small town named Linwood, Georgia, where majority of the population is Muslim. So she goes to, what is it called? I don't want to, what's it called when you guys pray?
Oh, Deerwood Islamic School for Girls.
Yes, yeah. I do not want to get anything mixed up. She goes there. She has a best friend who A to Z. Is it a Farah? Or is it a
Yes.
Oh, I said it right. Farah. Yes. So they're best friends, and one of her cousin comes, Lucy, who does not really have, they really don't have a good connection, her and Kat, because of some things that happened in the past. And she wants to go to school for art, but her parents are very strict on her, basically telling her that art isn't really a career, and they want her to do something more that is more not demanding, but more so kind of like more structured. And so she comes upon, You Truly Assume, she gets in contact with Bree, and she starts making the comics for the blog. But at the same time, she has her own problems back in her hometown, because not only did her school get vandalized, but also her best friend's mom's bookshop that she works at also got vandalized, and she's trying to figure out exactly who was the person that did it. So with her character, I love the fact that she found her voice. She was very, very timid at some times, but she was timid, but at the same time, she wasn't when it came to Lucy. Like, she could not stand that chick at all. Like, at all. Until like towards like the very end. In Asher, he was just very, one of those dudes that's very, I did not like Asher. That's only like one of the characters I did not like, because he was very asshole-ish. And when the attack happened,
he was written that way, yeah.
Yeah, when the attack happened, he was just like, okay, like, it's an attack, get over it, blah blah blah. He was very Islamophobic. And then when everything kind of popped off, we were just like, we know it's him, because a certain book that gets stolen, and Lucy is trying to cover it up, but I think deep down she knew that he did all that stuff, but she was just trying to defend him.
Yep.
Especially when
when I wrote it, I wanted it to be kind of like, did she not kind of know? Because like that was kind of like the family dynamics. Like, she wanted to stand by him, right? Because that's her cousin.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, eventually she has to realize that like you can't co-sign everything, and so she kind of has to stand up eventually for what she believes in too.
Exactly.
So yeah, there's that. Did she not know that it was him all along? So I think honestly it could go either way, and I kind of wanted it to be written that way, where you could kind of think either option.
Okay. And then Farah, one of my second favorite characters of the book, she lives in California. She's all about her mom and her boyfriend Riley, who I thought was just the sweetest character ever. Like whenever I get a boyfriend, I want a boyfriend like Riley because he was so sweet and caring and understanding. She is the web design person behind the blog. She makes all the graphics and makes it very aesthetically. But she's about to have a great summer. She's about to just chill with her boyfriend and have a good time until her mom dropped the bomb on her that her dad wants to see her. And she hasn't seen her dad in a while. Her dad is married, has 3 children. And she's just like, what? You want me to do what? She's like very upset. But Riley encourages her to go because you never know what happens. So she packs up her suitcase and goes traveling from California all the way to the East Coast in Maryland. And she meets her dad, sees her dad for the first time in years. And then she also gets to meet her brother Samson, her little sister, and her 2 little sisters, and her new stepmom. And I just want to say, I did not like the stepmom. Just did not like her. Even after the recontrol, I still didn't like her. Because when Allie, I didn't, because like she's just very like, I don't know, like I understood why she was mad at Tommy, which is, Farah's dad, but don't take that out on the child. You know what I'm saying? Like take that on him. Don't take it out on the child because he messed up y'all plans. Like you knew when you married him that he had a daughter. Now, granted, maybe she wasn't in the life as much, but you knew she had a daughter. So I don't understand what the issue was with that. But I love Samson. Thought Samson was really sweet. I love Allie. She was just adorable. And I also love how Farah was one of those chicks that's just like, I'm going to say what's on my mind. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. Because she had no shame in her game asking Tommy what she asked her. Like, why haven't you been in my life in a while? Or what's going on? Like she had no problems, no nothing with that. And that's what another thing I loved about Farah too, because she didn't care. She was just like, I'm going to tell you how I feel. And if you don't like it, then oh well. That's how I felt.
Yeah, that is true.
Yes. And then back to Bree. And so her mom encouraged her to do some volunteering. And she is joint together with a guy named Hyatt. And she cannot stand this man. She hates him. She has him on her sister have like a no boy block zone. And he was on that list for a while until she realizes that she's been gets singled out by Mr. Smith, who is her dad's new boss, and they kind of find out something major happened with that. There's a scene in the book when I think she confronts him. Not gonna really spoil it for everybody. When she confronts him and he says what he says, and my mouth dropped. I was like, what? And it seemed like he didn't really care about what she felt.
Yeah, he was like written to be one of those kind of like caustic people that it's just like honestly terrible. Like he's just straight up a villain. There's really no wiggle room around that. Like he's just an awful person.
Yeah, and
when he says what he says, it's like, wait a minute.
I was like, well, I had to reread it. I was like, did he really just say that to this 17-year-old girl? And my thing was, I understood where Bree was coming from when it meant not trying to tell her parents. But at the same time, I feel as if she should have been told her parents like as soon as it happened, as soon as she felt that way. That's how I felt.
Yeah, I think she was like trying to like navigate this like pressure to like be perfect. She kind of is the perfectionist in the group, and so yeah, she felt like a bunch of pressure to like be perfect, so that because her dad worked really hard to get this job, and then this person who's like overseeing what she's doing is her dad's boss, and so it puts her in like a really tricky situation. So yeah, she's just doing the best to navigate it, but eventually she's just like, I can't handle this by myself anymore. Like it's kind of above me, beyond me now. So yeah, that's when she kind of has that conversation with her mom and then also her dad.
And I love how both parents, actually, to be honest with you, I love how you wrote all the parents to be very understanding.
I think Yeah, I guess I've had some like comments and stuff about, oh, the parents are super supportive. And like when I was writing it, that wasn't like my objective. I guess it's just kind of how the story came out. So I don't know. Yeah, I feel like I wanted to write like supportive parents. Like you don't always see parents in like a main role in YA stories. So looking back at it now, I think that's like really good to kind of just show that different dynamic as well.
Yeah, because when Kat, really finally confront, like, told her parents about everything that was happening with her, and even though her parents were scared, I feel as if they kind of came to understanding that it's like, we have to let you be, because at the end of the day, you're about to turn 18, you're not gonna live in the house anymore. So you're gonna,
Yeah,
saying you're gonna
exactly.
do some things that, we can't supervise anymore, so we have to trust you.
Yeah, like it was like, yeah, they disagreed, but eventually they were able to kind of just work it out. And like you said, like they kind of learned to trust the cop, but she also learned to kind of speak up and kind of be upfront with them as well. So there was kind of learning down on both sides, I feel like.
Yes, because when Sakat, she went to confront Asher, I legit was scared for her, because I really thought something was going to happen after she turned her back. I was like, please don't let nothing happen to this girl. I was terrified. Because it was just like, it was her and then like all those dudes, and you really, saying you really don't know what could happen or what they could say. So I was just like, when she turned around and she walked out, I was like, oh my
Yeah, that's true.
God. So I have another quote that Bree wrote, and I thought, and I really want if you could remember your insight on this. It was, it is, I never realized how easy it could be to let hate have the last word, to stop fighting and accept things in they are. But I wasn't raised to do that. And I don't think it's my own DNA to do so. Despite the lessons of my trust in the world, I don't want to silence my voice. I can't silence my voice. I have to keep speaking so that when other young Muslim women come after me and they speak their own voices, not only echo in isolation, but the voices in their words move mountains, create waterfalls, mend hearts, and make its world closer to what it could be.
Yeah,
Now,
that's one of
I'm
my
not
favorite
Muslim.
sections.
I'm not
Mhm.
Muslim at all. But I feel as if this book is, even like I said, it's black girl magic. No matter if you're African American, Muslim, mixed, it doesn't matter. It's black girl magic. I love the fact that even though all three had their own personal issues, when they finally met, or like over Zoom, I love how all three of them supported each other.
Yes, definitely.
Like all three supported each other. From Farah and her situation with her dad, to Bree, from Bree talking to them about Haya and her situation with Mr. Smith, to Zakat and her dad, her parents' situation, and her friends, and when they were hyping her up about going to her first party of the summer. I just love the whole dynamic of that friendship. And I feel as if sometimes as you get older, you always want to find that friendship that, because I know I am, I'm about to turn 30 in like 3 months. I'm still trying to find that friendship circle that could support me through anything that I go through, no matter how good and bad. And even though they're from like the wholly, like legit different sides of the world, you got one from the West Coast, East Coast, and the South, the fact that they're all together, you crafted that beautifully.
Thank you. Yeah, I really wanted to show the power of friendship, kind of like you said, and also like online friendship. I feel like in this day and age, like it's kind of hard not to be on the internet, and it's just like so easy to like meet people, and like you can really genuinely find like friends online. Of course, like stranger danger, be safe. But just like in the writing community, like I've met so many great people that I've really, after years, I'm like, oh my goodness, like we've been talking, like connecting for like 3 or 4 years. Like you're a friend at this point. And of course, with these girls, they're working on something that's so like important to them, and they're all so passionate about it that like a natural friendship just kind of blossomed from there.
I also like the fact that you put in how the internet can really, like, especially Twitter, like I love how you had it in there like towards like the middle of like the hashtags and like the retweets, and them tagging the company about what happened. That's real. That's really realistic, because you could do one tweet, and if somebody was like, I've been through that, they retweet it, and it continuously goes through it to where that person or that company could get canceled like that. It makes no sense.
That is true. Yeah.
Like you said, the power of social media is real. Really, really real. So I do have some questions though. You don't have to answer, but the way you ended it, I was just like, I wanted more. So will we get like maybe like in the future, maybe get like an update on how they are, or if they're probably like all three of them will meet in person?
That's actually really funny that when I first wrote like the OG draft, there was like, I feel like there was like an epilogue where I like somehow made all of them like meet in person. I don't know how that happened, but I don't think it made the final draft because they were all kind of like in their own separate, separate areas at the end. But I don't know if I'll write a sequel, but like who knows? Maybe later down the line there'll be a short story where I somehow find this epilogue that I wrote like when I was like 17 and just like restructure it. But yeah, who knows?
Oh, I like that. I love that. Love it, love it, love it. So I have some questions that are publishing wise. What made you want to go traditional publishing?
Yeah, I think honestly, I'm a full-time student and shout out to self-published writers and also indie writers who like are able to do like the cover design, like the copy editing, like shout out to y'all because it is it is a lot of work and I see that now kind of gone through this whole like publishing process that you truly assumed. So I think that was also part of it. Like I knew that I just am not capable of doing that, at least not right now. So that was part of it. And also like I did like author mentor match and stuff. And so my mentor, who's a diva, the author of The Hidden Wars and Honey and a Shoes Guide to Fake Dating, she kind of helped me with my query list and kind of it just kind of progressed naturally for me to move more towards traditional publishing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think those kind of like two parts. One, I'm a full-time student, so I wasn't really feasible for me to do self-publishing. And then two, just kind of how my journey just kind of naturally progressed, just kind of points in that direction, I feel like.
Okay, cool. And you said that you did what was it, the vid pit?
Yeah, author mentor match.
It was crazy. I just realized about that one. Because the only thing I knew was pitch wars. That's all I knew until I did more research and I saw that. So can you explain to the viewers and to me exactly what that one is?
Yeah, it's just basically a mentorship program where you can submit to up to 4 mentors and like you do like a little like sub package, and then the relationship can kind of take whatever form you and your mentor agree upon or decide upon. So there's no like end date. Like with pitch wars, you got like the agent showcases, a very like kind of hard date. But with author mentor match, there's not. So there's a little bit more flexibility, a little bit less pressure to feel like you have to like perform. And so yeah, so Adiba, she was my mentor for author mentor match round 6. She's still a mentor and a close friend to me today. She blurbed You Truly Assume. That was the book we were working on all those years ago. That's what I applied with for author mentor match. So that's kind of a little bit about the program. Yeah, it's basically a mentorship program. No set no set date, but the mentor will help you with revisions, help you with like your query list, and so on and so forth, and just always be there, to ask questions, get advice and whatnot.
Oh, that is so cool. That is dope. I like that. So what do you expect readers to get from You Truly Assume?
Yeah, I think my biggest takeaway that I hope readers get is that there's like no one way to make change. Like kind of like you talked about earlier, like Sabria, she's actually doing the writing, Zakat, she's doing the drawing, and Far, she's a little bit more behind the scenes doing the techie stuff, but they're all making change and just in a way that they're most passionate about. So that's kind of what I wanted one of the, the key messages to be. Like there is really no set way to make change.
Okay. All right. All right. I like that answer. And for my last question, because like I said, I really want to get into this book, but I don't want to get into it at the same time because I don't want to do any spoilers about this book. But I will be doing a YouTube video when the book does come out, and I'll probably do all my spoilers there. If you had any advice for anybody that wants to be in your shoes when it comes to traditional publishing, getting an agent, going through, the revisions, the mentorships, what advice would that be?
Yeah, I think I have two pieces. The first piece is like when you're writing, especially the first draft, to really tell it for you. Like the first draft is just you telling yourself the story. I know it's easy to put like a lot of pressure on yourself. Like this is the book that has to be published. Like it has to be perfect the first time I get it down on the page. And I think just telling yourself that, hey, like the first time that I'm telling this story at all is for me, and that can kind of lessen the pressure a little bit. And I've kind of had to learn that as well. And then the second thing that I think is helpful is just like the writing community. Like you said, I was in line that day with 2 other upcoming authors, and like they've been in community with me for like since kind of the beginning. Kristen, the author of the upcoming required reading for the disenfranchised freshman. We did author mentor match together, so that's kind of how we met each other. So just like building community. Naturally, of course, it's really easy to kind of like get isolated in this process. I think just having other people to talk about, to commiserate with, to support, to uplift is just really important. So I think those would be like 2 big pieces of advice for sure. Oh, also to read widely. That just I feel like that's even not traditional publishing specific. Just if you want to be a writer in general, just read widely for sure.
Definitely, I definitely agree with that. Definitely read whatever you. To me, I feel as if my advice would be read what you want to like write in. I think that's my thing too. Because like I said, I write romance and I also write a lot of YA books too.
Mhm.
So I would definitely read, and plus I love YA anyway. But definitely read a lot of romance YA and kind of like try to see how you can like make your own in that. Don't copy at all, but just make your own. And I'm glad you brought up Christina because I'm actually on a book tour for her book. And I resonate with that book so much because I went to an HBCU when I started my college career, and then I ended with at a PWI. So I'm like, I was just like, I understand where Sabrina's coming from.
Yeah,
Definitely.
no, Kristen's book is great. She like I said, we started this process together, and then like her book debuts literally a week before mine, and I just think the timing is wild. But no,
Yeah,
it's an amazing book. I'm really really excited for it to to release, to really be out there in the world. But yeah, I'm so excited.
yeah. So I wish you nothing but the best. Like I said, guys, when you see this, the book will already be out. So happy early release day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Enjoy it. Definitely enjoy it. Fun fact, my first book also came out on the 8th as well. So it's kind of be like kind of like my 1 year anniversary of my book as well. But like I said,
Oh, congratulations.
thank you. But definitely enjoy it. Definitely sit in the moment and be like, I'm actually like a publisher right there. Cry, happy tears if you have to. Enjoy
For
it.
sure.
I'm gonna get even though I already have the art, I'm going to get the hardcover because that book is just, I mean, it's gorgeous. Look, guys, look at the cover. When you wrote in your author's note that you kept looking at your cover, I understood why. Because the
No,
cover
yeah, the
is
cover artist,
gorgeous,
she did amazing. Like honestly, beyond anything I could have dreamed of.
like freaking amazing. But guys, that is all for this episode. Sorry, it's a short one. Like I said, I don't want to give too many spoilers away, but I did give what I could without spoiling it because if you guys have seen my channel, you guys know I am a spoiler and I do not care and I'm okay. But Laila, thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate it. I hope this is not the last time I interview you because I know you are such a talented author that you have a lot more books in the works very, very soon within the upcoming years. Guys, make sure you follow me, the bookworm underscore on YouTube, on here, of course, subscribe. But the bookworm underscore on Instagram, K Renee, Twitter. And until next time, as always, read what you want to write and write what you want to read. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.